Hey everybody, this is Miss Dietrich helping you on Lesson 28, Two-Step Equations for Module 4 of Engage New York. This particular question reads, Darnell completed 35 push-ups in 1 minute, which is 8 more than his previous personal best. Mia completed 6 more push-ups than Katie. If Mia completed the same amount of push-ups as Darnell completed during his previous personal best, how many push-ups did Katie complete? Let D represent the number of push-ups Darnell completed during his previous personal best, and K represent the number of push-ups Katie completed. To answer a question like this, it's probably going to be necessary to create a tape diagram, or sometimes referred to as a bar model. The easiest thing to pull out of this is what they say about Darnell, which is Darnell completed 35 push-ups in 1 minute, which is 8 more than his previous personal best. So if we just kind of think of that first, we draw a rectangle, D plus 8 would give us the 35. All right, so that's going to give us the first part of it, and we can even write an equation for that. D plus 8 equals 35. Now the next little detail that they give us that we might work with off of that is the idea that Mia completed 6 more push-ups than Katie, and then we also need to know that this number here that we get is going to be important that we figure that out, or at least think about it. Now, if we were to figure out what plus 8 equals 35, that might help us to understand what to do next. So let's think about that value. We're going to subtract 8 from 35 so that we can think about what this D must look like. We can't take 8 away from 5, so we'll rename. This is going to be a 2, and this is going to become a 15. Okay, and then if we bring this down, we get the 7, and then 2 minus nothing is 2. So in other words, D is equal to 27. All right, so that means if we just focus on, let's use blue, this piece right here, that piece has to add up to be 27. Or if we look at the entire thing, like this plus this plus this has to equal 35. So if we're able to write two equations, given the situation that we have, we could either write the equation K plus 6 equals 27, because that would be representing this bar, or we could write the equation K plus 6 plus this 8 equals 35. Either equation would be acceptable because we'd get the same value either way. Now, if we're going to use the idea that K plus 6 equals 27, then we can conclude that this has got to be equal to 21, because this piece 21 plus this 6 would equal the 27. And then at the same time, we can double check to make sure all our bars, because you know how 6 plus 8 equals 14, we have to make sure that all our bars add up to be 35. So 27 plus 8 equals 35, 21 plus 6 plus 8 equals 35, and 21 plus 14 equals 35. If we continue to solve this equation here, K plus 14, because that's looking at this, combining these two things, K plus 14 is going to equal to 35. We're in the opposite of add 14 to a variable is to subtract it. If we do 35 minus 14, we're going to get 21. So therefore, we can conclude that Katie completed 21 push-ups. It's always a good idea, by the way, to go back, reread the problem, put in the numbers where they belong, and see if it makes sense. And if you do that, you'll find that it does.